Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the DB story event for the Tree of Might. Now this is a new story event that has come out. Well, it's not really. It's a revamp of an older story event that has been updated to have 2 new additions and refresh the stones. So if you've done this event already, you should do it again. And if you haven't done it, then it's still a great time to do it. So the first edition is a new support memory. This support memory features Great Ape Gohan and is a lot of fun. I think it's a great support memory. I think it's usable. I think it's definitely got some play factor in it for SBR or just in general. And it provides you with a nice little boost. There is an effective category being Space Traveling Warriors, which you obviously want to highlight. And there's been a big awakening added in for the Str Turles, who's the big free-to-play unit from this. The Turles already had his Dokkan Awakening from this event. So Str Turles' Dokkan Awakening is the new one. Makes him the new free-to-play unit, I guess. So it's pretty important. Now there are some missions for setting up your team a certain way. Those include things like having a Hybrid Saiyan, having the Z Fighters link, having a Space Traveling Warrior, having a low class warrior, having etc etc. We will be completing all of these with one team build that I will showcase to you guys now. So I will be using only free-to-play units, and we will be completing these sets of missions all with one team, so that you can just basically play from start to end on autopilot and kind of proceed with that. It is important to understand that you can put scenario on, and by putting scenario on you will see some animations and some dialogue, and it's actually really cool. So for people who don't know, putting scenario on, it's actually really a lot of fun. Now a lot of the missions are going to be quite easy to complete. You have quite a large free-to-play roster, and we can cover most of the missions quite easily. Things like having a Bond of Friendship unit isn't too hard. Space Traveling Warriors, that can be covered by B-Pan, and Kid Goku's from the GT era are your predominant ones. Otherwise, units like Giru are also fine. A lot of the GT units kind of cover that if you want to keep your boost of Space Traveling Warriors. Otherwise, of course, you can just basically look at getting, how can I say, whichever unit. You don't need to cater to the requirements. You can obviously skip it if you want to, but ideally you do still want to keep your Space Traveling Warriors boost. Remember that when you are using the boost, if you're not doing the missions, or if you're just trying to still prioritize the boost while doing the missions, rarity is the biggest factor in determining your bonus. So you want to have LRs, TURs, etc. That's that. Mainly, a lot of it comes down to having Goku's family member, Hybrid Saiyan, Bond of Friendship. That's all kind of covered by Pan. And then we need a Z Fighters link, which we're going to get from Goku. Unfortunately, there's no Space Traveling Warriors with the Z Fighters link, at least not in the free-to-play section. But then we covered the rest of the units quite easily. So Saga from the movies, Terrifying Conquerors, all that stuff covered quite easily. Please remember that you can use a Oolong support memory or a Bulla and Vegeta GT support memory. The number 1 stages to focus on are going to be Stage 6 and Stage 9 and Stage 2. So you need the Tree of Might medals to Dokkan Awaken your Str Turles to his first stage. And then you need the Turles medals from the final stage to Dokkan Awaken your units to the next phase. So that is the most important thing, I would say. So yeah, I'm not going to bore you by going through every single stage because it's not necessary. What we will be doing is we'll just go through the final stage where we get the medals for Dokkan Awakening Turles, and then we'll just discuss, basically what you need to do to finish Turles and to finish the missions. And the missions are very straightforward outside of the team requirements, which we've already covered with our team build. There are missions for Dokkan Awakening Turles and completing the stages on both normal and Z hard difficulty, which is not that big a deal. So fairly straightforward from that perspective. Now, in terms of Turles, so you need to farm. So he has a base copy that's SR, which is why you have to Dokkan Awaken him twice. You're going to need 85 Tree of Might medals per Turles. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys exactly how many Turleses you need so that you can be on top of everything. And I'm going to run you through how to Dokkan Awaken them because it's very important. So there's 2 medals here. There's the Turles medal. You only need 5 of those. And there's the Tree of Might medal, of which you are going to need 425. How it works is basically you're going to have 5 copies of SR Turles. Okay. SR Turles is going to be, well, one of them is going to be SA10. And the other 4 copies will not have their SA invested in. Let's put it that way. They're not going to have their super attack leveled up. Basically, how it works is you need to have 425 of the Tree of Might medals, and you're also going to need to have 5 of the final Turles medals. To max out Turles is pretty straightforward. You take the 4 copies that are not SA10, and you do their first 2 Tree of Might medal awakenings. I'm going to show you that now. And then you take your SA10 copy and you do his first 2 Tree of Might awakenings as well. So if you take a look here, I'll show you guys what I've got. You'll see that I've got 1 extra Turles, but I've got 1 Turles that's locked. He's at SA10. And then I've got 4 Turles units that are at level 80, ready to awaken. They are at SA1. You'll see that we have here the first awakening that we did, and then now we are ready to move on to the next awakening. So this is the one for 50 medals. Did the first one for 35 medals on all of them, and now we're doing the one for 50 medals on all of them as well. Very important to note, because you're going to need to do both sets of awakenings. Once you've done the 50 medal awakening on the Turles units, you will then be able to feed them into the SA10 Turles. So we're going to take our SA10 Turles, our one that's locked, train him. We are then going to awaken him 1 step further as the awakening. We are then going to open his hidden potential system by using the 4 copies of Turles that we already have. Okay, so hidden potential, go to Turles, open every single path up. And that's that. Your only next step is to Dokkan Awaken this Turles to his final state, which requires 5 medals. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Can be a little bit confusing, which is why I do usually run through it, so the players are at least covered and aware of what they need to do, because it can become a little bit confusing. But yeah, that's it from me. Bye.